All right, guys, welcome back to the hillside once again. Today I'm going to show you how to take some fig cuttings, and then we're going to go inside. I'm going to show you how to properly root these guys to help propagate some plants for you. And I'll show you what I've already taken of some other cuttings for some other plants, show you just how easy it is to propagate without having to spend any money, really, to just double your plants, even triple, quadruple. It doesn't matter how many cuttings you want to take. It's up to you. Once you get a plant established and you know the proper procedure, you can basically take clones of your plants. Now these are going to be, I guess, semi-hardwood cuttings. These is last year's growth from this fig tree in front of you. And last year, it died back to the ground, basically. So I've kind of mulched it heavily with leaves and things like that around the base. I have an old sheet kind of holding it all in together. But yeah, last year it died back almost to the ground. So this year, I definitely put a lot more mulch around the base of it here to help at least insulate the bottom. So no doubt the roots are going to survive. But what I'm worried about is these plants themselves, where, I mean, they seem to be doing just fine. And they are making green buds are starting to swell here in early February, which is kind of early for them. But we're in for a nice cold snap, and it doesn't seem to be warming up anytime soon. So just to ensure, and also just for fun, I'm just going to show you how to take some cuttings from these figs to kind of multiply these. And if you're afraid that the plant may or may not survive, this might be a good time to take some cuttings to ensure that you have something that does survive, that you can replant if necessary, if you live in a place where an unexpected cold winter does kill off one of your figs. So looking at this this specimen right here, you see the tip growth. The buds are basically already opening or trying to swell at the very least. If you look down the stem, there's another bud right here, bud right there. If you kind of go down, there's one right here. Even farther down, barely see one emerging right here. So when you take a cutting, you want to make sure you get at least 6 inches, because you need enough energy in that stem you're cutting off in order for the plant to have enough to propagate. So I mean, cutting it off right here, this close to the top, is really not recommended, as it probably won't grow anyways. So what I like to do is right about here, so it's going to be right above this bud, and you're going to cut it at an angle, kind of going down. Okay, that way when it does rain, it's going to slide off. It's not going to be that flat base to that will collect water. So anyways, here's the cutting. It's about this long. Okay, it's got the growth on the top there, and you got a nice flush cut on the bottom, and some nice sharp cutters here. So I'm going to take a couple more of these, and we're going to take them inside and show you what to do next. Okay guys, so now we're inside and I have my cuttings. And one thing you'll notice about your figs, if they are still healthy and viable, see that white sap in the middle? Okay, now that's like a latex type of sap in there. So it's not going to be something you really want to get on yourself, so to speak, but it's going to help the rooting hormone, which I have right here. Just some rooting hormone. Just going to dip it in. Get a nice coverage on the base of your stem. It's just this easy, guys. You just take it, press it in, okay? Same difference with this. These are two different varieties. This is the white Marseille, which was purportedly Thomas Jefferson's favorite. He tried to grow up Monticello, for some trivia facts there for you. Okay, and I believe these are, I keep forgetting to check the tag. I want to say Olympia, but it might be Empire. That's just irrelevant, but same thing, guys. Just gonna take them, spread them in the ground, okay? Nice flush cut right there. Very healthy fig cuttings. And these, once again, just press it in about that deep. And I'll need to go ahead and water these guys in. Wouldn't be a bad idea to get a mister or a spray bottle and kind of keep them a little bit moist, just to help with any kind of evaporation that may or may not occur along the way. But I'm going to show you right now what I've done with some other cuttings, and kind of show you a really, really easy, cheap way to kind of propagate some things that might be more beneficial and helpful as a little quick tip here for the future. All right, so yes, this I believe one time held pretzels. Okay, this is just an old jar that someone at work was going to throw away. It was in the break room or something. I've had this for about 3 or 4 years, and I've propagated hundreds of cuttings, not exaggerating. As you can tell, the lid's kind of actually deteriorating from being out in the elements, so it's kind of taped together because it's falling apart, but you know, it's what it is. But if you look inside here, these are some mock orange, and they're already starting to grow. Basically, I did exactly the same I just showed you with the figs. I cut them off right above a growth bud, put the rooting hormone, and just stuck them in the this little mini greenhouse, okay? And this over here, this much bigger stem kind of going up, that is a lilac, which is putting on tons of growth, and it's actually reaching the top of the container, which I don't really like that because it could lead to condensation, which would help speed up fungus growth or deterioration. So I need to watch that pretty carefully. Don't keep it overly wet. It's just in a nice sunny window. I don't add any kind of heat or any kind of fertilizer. And yeah, but I mean, if you keep looking down here, eventually you're going to start seeing some roots. And that's when you know it's time to transplant. But for right now, this is only probably 2 to 3 weeks tops, maybe 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, we'll call it. Okay, and as soon as I put them in here, they've been doing great. I take the lid off every now and then to kind of like just air it out a little bit. You don't want to get a stagnant environment in there, but you know, just as soon as you take the lid off, you can tell how much more humid and warm it is actually inside. So look for any kind of things like this, guys. I mean, I wouldn't use milk jugs. You know, if you're doing winter sowing, that's one thing, but this is indoor cutting propagation, which you're not going to want to use milk jugs because they're too opaque, or you're not going to get enough sunlight through them. I guess if you want to use a really like a clear juice bottle or something like that, it's a possibility. Like I said, just make sure that you monitor the water situation so that it doesn't get overly moist and lead to fungus or any kind of growth like that. So yeah, it's just that easy, guys. It's as simple as making a nice flush cut, adding some rooting hormone, and keeping the plants happy. So if you can find something like this that someone's probably throwing away anyhow, talk to like a grocery store, if you have like a snack bar or something that you work at, or just, you know, big box store that maybe they're just throwing these things out, just old plastic containers, keep it, reuse it. Like I said, I've used this for at least 3 or 4 years. The plastic itself is perfectly fine. The lid's deteriorating, but that's fine. It's going to be, that's just one of those things. I can eventually find something, hopefully, to replace it, but you know, it's not really a big deal. And you know what the best part about all this is, guys? Your plants don't know. Your plants don't know that you're just using an old pretzel jar to do propagation in. So don't stress it, all right? That's everything about here on the hillside. The hillside gardening is about reusing stuff, making it as simple as possible, using things you already have on hand that are cheap to help you to spread all your plants, to keep growing things. Whether you do it indoors or even outdoors, you can do this on any kind of scale you wanted. You know, right now there's like, I think there's 10 of the mock orange in there. I took off one little tiny bush and one lilac right there. And yeah, so I mean, you can infinitely propagate these things as much as you need to. And whenever they get big enough, I'll show you how to go from this stage here of the cuttings to individually potting them up or transplanting to the next stage in their growing cycle. So hopefully this is a good tip for you guys. I hope you liked what you saw. I hope you try this. If you have ever tried something like this, or maybe this video inspired you to go try cuttings for the first time, let me know down in the comments below. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me here on the hillside. Hope you liked it, and we'll see you next time. All right, guys, bye-bye.